Thiago Granato. I'm a dancer and choreographer. I live between Brazil, France, and Germany. And
I'm Jefta van Dinter. I live in Stockholm and Berlin. And we're now in Festival Panorama performing our performance This is Concrete in Sergio Porto. So this performance that we have made is called This is Concrete. It started more or less 1 year ago here at Panorama Festival, where we had our first residency. And slowly what we have today started to become concrete and start to materialize. It's a work that we do. One of the main topics we're working on is the perception of time. In the performance we try to both spend time in a different way than one usually does. We try to spend time between us, me and Thiago, and we try to also invite the audience to spend time looking at this spending time. We're slowing down a lot the perception, the sensation of time, and actually working with variations of slow is what we call it, in which actually a kind of, let's say that the time becomes a material that you start to really perceive as a substance, as something concrete, as a performance. This is, I think, one of the lines. What appeared out of this being slow or spending time were also certain elements of certain contents that appeared where you actually spend time. So there was something about sensuality and sexuality that became a very important content in the work. Me and Thiago throughout the performance are in a situation of intimacy that we share, and that actually becomes also our composition, our choreographic composition. It's something that an audience looks at, is invited to look at. They're not part of it per se, but they are invited to look at it and be with it, spending time with it.
yeah, I think there is this general idea about two bodies passing through different situations and trying to expand the way of communicating between us, like using this immaterial stuff that happens in the communication as choreographic material. So you can see different levels, different layers, also different meetings between light, music and movement as part of this experimental communication that we developed there in the piece. It's nice also to say that the music and the light is very important as part of the choreography. It's not like a decoration or something that came after to give a kind of treatment, but we consider the light and the music as body also of the piece. Who does the piece? The light is David Kiers. The music David Kiers, and the light
Jan Vedingen.
Yes.
And I think what I've heard yesterday, for instance, from the audience at Panorama is that I think what is very specific about the work is that people experience a very, very intimate situation, but are nevertheless magnetized to be part of this, be with this, and look at this. And it's an unusual situation, I think, in which people are finding themselves looking at people who are going through something together, which is intimate and close, but without being maybe eccentric, or without being necessarily extreme. Actually, the intimacy is what is extreme, not the expression of it. It's not vulgar, or it's not. But the experience of this intimacy becomes extreme, and this is quite something for people to deal with. How do you relate to this happening in front of you? Are you allowed to look at this? How do you position yourself in relation to this? Is it something you enjoy? Is it something you resist?
Yeah, I think this is space between the two bodies that are on stage, and also the space between the bodies on stage and the body of the audience kind of shift, get closer and get far. So you can see our bodies having a very close relationship, very intimate relationship, by being close to each other in different situations. And for me, what is interesting about it is that also the space in between the audience and us, in terms of perception, in terms of representation and engagement, shifts also. Yeah. To perform in Brazil for me is always amazing, actually, because of the reaction of the people. It's quite specific. I have always a feeling of communicating all the time, because I have not only like sound reactions or voice reactions of the people, but I have also the echo after the performance very strongly, and this is quite. I think I do art for this kind of to promote this kind of meetings before, during the performance, and after the performance, and I think I feel very, how do you say, realized? No, can I say that? Realization. You have this kind of yes.
Or achievement.
Yes, in Brazil.
Yeah, I think it's a very concrete, and very direct reaction often, which is great, because, like Thiago says, you can actually feel it sometimes. Sometimes you are a little bit left in the blue, otherwise, of how it was received, and here it is pretty obvious. And this is very nice about playing here. And having a premiere here for us was also like
yes,
it was a very clear step.